All right, episode 11, the bucking over. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see that I moved the camera a little bit. I felt like my face was right up against the camera. So, of course, if you're listening to this on the podcast, on Apple, Spotify, all your favorite platforms, you're not going to see my face. And that's probably for the best. My voice is much better than my face. Our daily overs, 4-4-2, riding that 500 lightning line. The season win total stagnant at 5 coming into today. Game 2, Pirates, Brewers. We have JT Brubaker up against Corbin Burnes for the Brewers. Cy Young winner. Roansy, the rising star. He came in today, looked electric as usual. We have a little bit of the homers. We have a little bit of bacon. We have a little bit of hot dogs. Nothing more American than that, am I right? Baseball, jacking home runs. Yeah, that's pretty American. And then my last little bit I'm going to get into at the end of this. I just want to know, is the overreaction season over yet? Could we get past this point of our lives? You know? All right, it's been 11 games. Let's get into this episode of The Bucking Over. All right. Game 2, Pirates Brewers. We had JT Brubaker, we had Corbin Burnes. First inning, nothing happened. You always love to see a good clean first inning, especially with these Pirate starters. Corbin Burnes doing his thing. JT Brubaker did very well first inning. Second inning, ran into a little bit of trouble for JT. Gave up a watch to McCutchen, and then Rowdy Tellez bomb to right field, 2-0. Then he comes back and he gets 2 quick outs. You like to see that. But then this is what kills a pitcher every time. You're cruising through an inning. You give up a home run, sure, but then you get the 2 outs. You have a throwing error by Newman. You walk Carantini. And then who else but Colton fucking Wong doubling home 2 on a cheapy hit right over the first baseman, bloops into right field. God, freaking Colton Wong. I said it last episode. Colton Wong. Don't like him. Just because he does that kind of crap. He does those little bloopy hits, these little lucky cheapy hits, RBIs all day for him. But then after that, JT, he did settle down. Brubaker got his last 10 batters he faced. So it was nice to see him, gut out that second inning and come back and just get in a good rhythm with Perez and just get batters out. Corbin Burnes, of course, cruised the whole way until the top of the 6th. VogelBOMB back in his, former ballpark, American Life. Used to be Miller Park, now American Life, which is a travesty, but that's another conversation for another day. VogelBOMB to center field, 4-1. Then we get, in the top of the 7th, Josh VanMeter, who hopefully can do this throughout the first half of the season and they can flip him for prospects. He hits a home run, 4-2. Over under was at 7.5, so we're hanging on. Bottom of the 7th, Roansy gives up a home run to Renfroe, solo shot, 5-2. So we're at 7 runs, and all I need is one more run to hit the over. But credit to Roansy, short-term memory. Came right back, struck out the next guy he faced, line out to Ke'Bryan Hayes, struck out the third batter. So very short memory. And he threw with a little fire too, 97, 98, right at him. Didn't beat around the bush. Didn't the home run he gave up was a hanging slider. That's a mistake pitch and he knew it. As soon as the guy hit it, he smacked his glove. He knew it. But, what's going to make him a rising, what makes him a rising star, what's going to make him a great pitcher is the short memory. Coming right back, getting angry, firing fastballs right back at him. Really good signs out of him. So you add him with Peters and Crow and Bednar, you have the makings of a good bullpen. Now, eventually, Contreras is going to get moved to a starting position, hopefully sooner rather than later, because the starters that the Pirates have now are not very good. But, excellent to see out of him. So the 7th inning comes and goes. Burnes goes 7 innings, and then you get Devin Williams and Josh Hader, elite bullpen arms. Um, and then I put this little note here. Colton Wong makes a good play and no one cares. Ninth inning, kind of a base hit up the middle, a little squibber. Colton Wong kind of has the Jeter throw, and he throws it to first, gets him out. Everyone goes nuts in Milwaukee, and I yawned and rolled my eyes because it's, Colton Wong. But, yeah, I just, it's... Maybe I'm too hyper-focused on him. Maybe that's what it is, but it just seems like he always pops up at the most opportune times. And he shows up and just, it's part of being a fan. You pick players you don't like and you boo the crap out of them. Last note I have on the actual game, the last pitch wasn't even close on Yoshi. Of course, when you have 2 strikes on you and you're not even protecting the outside half of the plate, I mean, what are you going to do, right? Yeah. But it was a good 2, 3, 4 inches off the plate. It wasn't even close. Called strike 3. Brubaker's final line only gave up the 2 hits, 4 runs, but only 2 were earned. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, 5 innings pitched. Now, he did have 94 pitches. A lot of that was that second inning when he could have got out of the inning, but then they decided, hey, an error, a walk, bloop shot. These things happen in baseball, but, it's progress. These are the kind of outings you want from Brubaker, and hopefully again tomorrow from Mitch Keller. Minimal runs, good 5 innings. 94 pitches is, a little much for 5 innings, but, right kind of where you want to be. I think Corbin had about 106 pitches over 7 innings, which is insane that you let your ace go that far, in April. But, hey, Brewers are there to win. And Roansy, 3 innings, just gave up the 1 hit, which was the home run, and 5 strikeouts. So he looked very solid, very good. The bats were all pretty quiet except for the 2 home runs. But, when you're facing Cy Young winner, Devin Williams, Josh Hader, 7 innings from Burns, then an inning, and then an inning, it's, it's going to be kind of a quiet night for the bats. So hopefully they can show up tomorrow, wake up a little bit. And it's April, but we're already doing like the what do you call it, the filler time. They bring the ice cream cones in or whatever. They brought out hot dogs. They brought out these bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, and they brought out what's called thick on a stick. And that might be the title of this episode, is Daniel VogelBOMB, thick with a stick. Man, that's a tongue twister. Say that a couple times fast. Yeah, so they're bringing out the bacon, they're bringing out the hot dogs. It was kind of comical to see, see him go to town. The play-by-play, Joe Block and Greg Brown had nothing to do with it, but Bob Walk and John Wayner, they went to town on him. And then the last little thing, we got hooked on the 7.5, and then overreactions. I mean, it takes a little while to adjust. Like I said, you're used to these seasons. You're just coming off the hype of a one and done in March Madness. You have football season where every win matters. But the overreactions are getting out of hand. I mean, I've said that Tucker's no good and he stinks. But, I'm saying that partly just because he hasn't shown up yet. But doesn't mean that you should, trade him or DFA him or anything. You got to let him, give him time to, see what he can do. And if he can't do it by June, July, August, September, then you know what you have and you don't have to worry about him anymore. But he's a first round pick, not a number 1 overall. That'd be insane. First round pick. Give him some time. Let him and Newman, and they're not going to play perfect every game. It's crazy if they make one little mistake and everybody's calling for their heads. It's, they probably aren't the best ball players, but I don't know. The overreactions kind of gets me a little bit, but it's neither here nor there. It's a full season. Speaking of full seasons, baseball, the gift that keeps on giving, we get a game tomorrow afternoon. I might be able to squeeze in a couple innings before work tomorrow. But we have game 3, Pirates Brewers, 1:40 p.m. Eastern. Mitch Keller, Brandon Woodruff. Mitch Keller 0-2, 9.39 ERA. Woodruff 1-1 with a 7.27 ERA. Over/under currently sits at 8 runs, which seems to be about pretty average. I'd love to see a start like Brubaker had from Keller. 5 innings, 3 to 5 runs, handful of strikeouts. Get to the 5th inning, Keller. Get some runs. Don't give up 8, 9 runs, And, hopefully the bats can wake up against Brandon Woodruff. And hopefully they can, get a win. I'd like to see him 6-6 going into Chicago. But yeah, a full season of baseball still ahead of us. We're not even in 10% of the way through. We got baseball tomorrow, and that's why we all love this game, this sport, because baseball comes around every day almost. And we didn't get the win today. We didn't hit the over today. But in baseball, the buck and over, there's always tomorrow.